So I've had the opportunity in my current role to create and implement a new recruitment training program to onboard new starters. As quite a few of you in this room will probably know, it takes a certain amount of change management to implement any new initiative in a recruitment environment, and the complexities this comes with. An absolutely fantastic article in the Harvard Business Review by Shane Snow on open-mindedness made me start to reflect on how the facets that determine open-mindedness can impact the success of any new recruitment initiative. Snow's findings were that over 95% of people surveyed felt that they were more open-minded than the average, which of course is impossible. Key facets that we are always open to considering when it comes to open-mindedness is a respect of other people's viewpoints and also a willingness to review our own viewpoints in the light of new information. But it's important to also consider the impact of not being intellectually overconfident and feeling that we already come with all the answers. Being open in the first place to listening to other people's views. This is absolutely crucial in any sales and training environment. And lastly, separating your ego from your intellect. This last one is particularly where challenges can arise. So, for example, if I was to come to you with information that was either new to you or not intrinsic to your beliefs, such as telling you that the best olive oil no longer comes from Italy, it now comes from California, you might accept it, you might even repeat it at a later date. In contrast to this, if I was to give you evidence-based findings on the best way to bring up your children and it conflicted with your views, this is where we are likely to find that people are up against their own egos and would find it a personal attack. Right now, you might be thinking about how open-minded you are or experiences that you have come across. I had the opportunity to go through this topic with my parents and they beat me to the stage. They took it to their debate society a couple of weeks ago and they were absolutely amazed with some of the considerations that came from other people. One gentleman even said, even from a young age, no one's truly capable of being open-minded. We were so busy at a later date discussing his closed-mindedness, it wasn't until later I reflected on the irony that in admitting to hear him out, they had unwittingly demonstrated their own lack of open-mindedness. So what does this mean for a learning and development initiative? Well, perception is almost always more than half the battle that we face, not only in making a training environment a successful one, but later on how that can impact the return on investment that that training provides. So we will need to think about our positioning, our collaboration, feedback both pre and post any initiative, open forum discussions, which allows us to go through what process is going to be put into place, the content of the training itself, but importantly with managers, the positioning that they give to their learners before they come into the training environment. It's a minor victory for any learning and development professional to get an email that says, I didn't expect to enjoy your training, but have we actually fostered open-mindedness? This type of concession tends to come from someone who already walks into the room with some experience and are, as Snow listed, intellectually overconfident. So it might be fantastic that they enjoyed the environment, the activities, and maybe even picked up a couple of new things. But unless they were willing to reflect on what they already felt that they knew, have they actually looked at the perceptions of their own current capability, and are they truly open-minded? You cannot demand open-mindedness from anyone. If anything, this will elicit the absolute opposite response. This is the absolute crucial time to have pre-discussions with managers prior to any training about setting the example of open-mindedness, as well as in the beginning of the training itself to have those discussions with the group about the importance of open-mindedness, lowering their defensiveness as they feel that in part it's their idea to be open-minded. I would like to end my review as Snow starts his article by collating an approach from Benjamin Franklin, who often would start his information to his peers by saying, I could be wrong, but, which allows a lowering of defensiveness. It's also very useful for us in training to be able to say, see, I'm right. I said I could be wrong, and I was. Thank you.